Welcome to Grover Load. We have the Gigabyte B650X AX V2 motherboard. Now, I have done an unboxing and a walkthrough of just the AX. Now, this is the V2, and there are a few things different about it. I don't think too much of the physical appearance, but more of the support. And we'll get to that in a second as we walk through this. Now, the V1 has some different revs. It has 1.0, 1.1, and 1.2, and none of those, according to Gigabyte's website, support the new 8000 Ryzen series processors. So that's just something to keep in mind here. This one does support the 8000 series processors and is part of that V2. So let's take this out. And we'll get to the motherboard here in a second, but you want to see what else is in the box? Because there isn't much. Multilingual installation guide, this little Gigabyte thing that covers a whole bunch of motherboards. It's not, I mean, it's nothing, so just warning, stuff like that. And then what else? Antennas, SATA. You have a little screw for M.2, a little screw for, what does this say? I think that might be another M.2 screw, and then another little screw. So you have 3 little screws. That's it. Okay. Now that we were through that part, a friend of mine that is using this motherboard, or will be having this motherboard in his computer, he got this from Micro Center. If you watch another one of my videos of a Gigabyte motherboard, I was also at Micro Center. It's because there was a good deal on this board with the, oh wow, it's really tight. Okay, there we go. Really good deal with this motherboard with the 7800X3D and 32 gigabytes of RAM. So this is the motherboard that it came with, and we'll walk through it here as soon as we get it out. So here's what it looks like. I guess we'll go like this so you can see all of it at once. So this is what we got. It doesn't look like too much has changed. You have your mouse, keyboard, your PS2 USBs, you have your Wi-Fi, HDMI display port, 2 USBs, USB-C. This one right here is your BIOS update one. USB 3.2, USB 3.2. This is USB-C 10 gig. This is your Q Flash Plus. 2 USB 3.2s, 2.5 gig NIC, and then you have 3 audios there. You have power up here, and what else do we have up on top here? CPU, CPU fan, or CPU op, CPU fan, system fan. You have CPU LEDs. You have 12 volt BRGB, BRG 12 volt. You have this is your D25, so this should DLEDs. You have your 24 pin, you got RAM, you have your AM5 socket there. We got an M.2, and we'll take this off so you can see what's underneath here too. This is your PCI X 16. We'll check on here. I think this is a 4.0. This is, I think, 5.0, and I think these are 4.0 M.2 slots. 4.0, I believe, on these two as well. What else do we have? We have a USB-C here. We have another fan header. There's your 4 SATAs, your USB 3.2, and then we have your front panel, system fan 3 underscore pump, 2 USBs, COM is there, ST, TPM, ESPI, and then you have some more LEDs. This is, I think, 5 volt. This is 12 volt GRB again. And then your audio header right there. So that's a quick rundown of it. Let's go in and let's see. Let's take this off. So this right here should come off. And we have an M.2 there. One of the screws will go there. Fit it in, M.2. Don't forget to take this off when you attach the M.2. And we'll put this, I think this one's directly to the CPU. We'll go through the paperwork. I got my little notes here as in what's different. So, but we'll take these off and we'll go through to see exactly how and where everything is. If I recall correctly, now it's been a while since I built that other computer. This is exactly the same setup there. M.2s as well. Your 80s are there. It doesn't look like it has any standoffs for anything closer. So just the 80 and then 110. Yeah, 80 and 110, that's all you have. So from there, let's see. This should go back on. Doing it from behind the camera is not always the easiest, but must be done. There we go. That's all down. So let's just, what was the stand-up? You guys probably can. So this one also is 80 and 110. So that is all the stand-ups. You don't have anything smaller on there. So there's that. If anyone cares about what's on the underside. So this got some heft to it. Seems like they got some nice, whoops, hit the camera. Sorry about that. Got some nice heft. Let's see, on the back of the box, did they say anything on here? You know, they didn't say anything different. They just have, you know, the fun stuff. 2.5 gig NIC, thermal guard, 8 2 plus 2 phases, and Wi-Fi 6E. Then, I don't know if you guys can all see that. It just says, yeah, so your PCI is 4.0 by 16 for the graphics. 4 DIMMs. The expansion slots are PCI 3.0 by 1. That doesn't... These are 3.0 by... I mean, these look like 16. I didn't see any other slots here. That seems wrong. Yeah, by 1. Why does it say by 1? Are these only pinned out? Holy cow. Yeah, these are only pinned out by 1. So I don't know if you can see that there. Interesting. Usually you'd see only a, you know, a smaller slot, but no, you can see that the pins only stop to there. So, or I can. I'm trying to get that on camera. Yeah, you can see, and you see it from that angle. They only stop to there. So they are PCI 3.0 by 1. My friend will not be using that, so that's not a big concern. You got 4 SATA slots, 3 M.2s for SSDs. RAID on here is 0, 1, and 10. 8-channel audio, 2.5 gig NICs, some USBs, wireless AX, and it's an ATX board. So now that we've ran through that, what are the differences between this one and the B650 Gaming X AX versus the V2? So first off, the big one is that it supports Ryzen 8000 in this board, not on just the AX without the V2. Same chipset, right? Now the memory is slightly different. This can go down to 4400, and while the other one only goes down as low as 4800. Does that matter? I don't know. So then we go to the next page here. Slightly different. Actually, no, nothing's different. The HDMI and DisplayPort are the same. It's just this one is supported with Radeon graphics. I mean, the other ones have integrated graphics processors, so I don't know why. I think Gigabyte, when they do these comparisons, does a strict string comparison, which isn't ideal. But now here is the big one. I'm going to put this out, and hopefully you guys can see that too. But so this is the original version. This is the V2, the one we're looking at currently, right? And you have so this is for the 7000, right? It's just normal 4.0 running at 16, right? And then you have 2 PCI X16 supporting 3 8.0 running at 1X, right? This is 7000 series is the same, PCI 4.0 by 16. If you have the 8000 processor, it's only 4.0 8X. You know, that's running through the processor. And then, and that's if you're using the Phoenix 1. And I believe Phoenix 2, I believe those are the 80, those are what, the 85 and 8300 G. The 86 and the 87, I believe, are Phoenix 1. And then the other ones are this, which is only a 4.0 at 4x to the X16 slot. So there's a little bit difference there. Same 3.0 1x1 slot. So keep that in mind. And then what do we got here? What's next on my sheets of stuff? The wireless communication mode is slightly different. Now, you can have either, on the original one, you had Wi-Fi 6E AX210 or the AMD Wi-Fi 6E RZ616. My wife has the 616 in her Ryzen laptop, the framework. So this one you have either, on the PCB 1.1 you have the AMD one, 1.0 you have the Realtek. So that is the difference there. And let's go down. Storage is, so storage is another one. So just keep this in mind, right? My friend doesn't really care, but if you're looking at this and you're wondering, hopefully you can see this. I'm looking at M.2 connectors. You know, the first two are connected through the CPU. One is the M2A, right, and 2B. Connector support 4.0, 4x or 2x, and 1.0. These PCB revisions are kind of like different. So not only could it be the version difference, like the V2, but it could also be motherboard revision. So motherboard revision, if you got to 1.2 on the original one, you go to 5.0 by 4, and then M2B is only 4.0. So one will run at the faster, and the other ones will run at the slower. And then the chipset one is 4.0, and then 4 status, and that goes to the chipset. Then on the new board, what we have here, Ryzen 7000, you have 5.0, 8000, you have 4.0, and then MB2 is 4.0 for all of them. And except for if you're on the Phoenix 2, that's only by 2. And then the chipset is 4.0, as well as the chipset on everything is 4.0. So then there's all the rate information. So keep that in mind. If you are on like the Phoenix 2, you're going to have some limitations. So you're going to have with Phoenix 1. So just keep that in mind. There's some limitations, right? It's 4.0 instead of 5.0. That is just something to keep in mind in this. If you're going to populate all three. Now, I believe this one should be the what do they call this? They call this the M2A underscore CPU. And then I think this is M2B, and then this is M2C, Southbridge. I mean, we can look at that real quick just to make sure here. We've only taken this off a few times already, so what's one more time? Do they list this here? Oh yeah, it's right there. It's M2A CPU. So this is A, and then we'll do this and just take it off, and we'll just leave it off. Of course, I might not come back to it now for the rest of the time, but also, if I didn't show you, these are probably, yep, they have sticky things on there as well. So this one is M2B CPU, and this is M2C SB, so Southbridge or chipset. But we'll just leave that off. Okay, so now that we're done with storage, what else is there? I think that everything else looks pretty much the same. The only thing different is that there might be some slight difference with the TPM header support, but that is it. For internal connectors, external connectors are the same. Or back panel. Back panel I think is the same. I didn't quite go through everything there. They look the same, so that is it. And let me know what other questions you have with this motherboard. You know, this it seems like a nice motherboard overall. It's done my other friend that I built it very well so far, and I hope this one will as well. I thank you guys for watching Gray Overload, and if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and also watch another one of my videos. It really does help with the channel. And until next time, God bless.